What happens when the greatest fighter in UFC history gets put to sleep behind closed doors? One legend accidentally confessed it on camera, and the Athletic Commission nearly canceled his fight 48 hours later. Now, let's get one thing straight. The UFC business model, it relies on the illusion of invincibility. When you buy a pay-per-view, you're paying for a mythical superhero. Conor McGregor, Jon Jones, Anderson Silva, George St. Pierre. To protect the aura, MMA enforces a strict code. What happens in their gym stays in their gym. If a superstar gets dropped, submitted, or flat out knocked unconscious in training, the doors are locked. The camera goes off and everybody signs an invisible NDA. But in the modern era of smartphones and weaponized social media, the vault was cracked wide open, and we now have the receipts. We know that the untouchable icons of the sport have been battered, broken, and separated from their consciousness by nameless training partners. And while some of these leaks were used to destroy careers, others were buried so deep by managers and promoters that it took years for the truth to surface. Let's look at the receipts. No one understands the power of leaked sparring footage better than Conor McGregor. In 2017, McGregor was preparing for the biggest payday of his life against Floyd Mayweather. He brought in a former boxing world champ, Paulie M, for sparring. Shortly thereafter, McGregor's camp leaked selective, out-of-context photos and a few seconds of videos showing Paulie on the canvas. Paulie was furious. He claimed it was a push down. Paulie then quit the camp and he demanded that UFC release the full uncut sparring footage to prove he was actually winning the rounds. And what did Dana White do? He refused. McGregor's team weaponized a tiny fraction of a leak to build a myth that Conor's left hand could drop a world-class boxer. The full tape remains locked in UFC's vault to this day, but karma is real. Fast forward to McGregor's disastrous UFC 329 comeback camp in 2026, the leaks turned against him. Footage of McGregor looking incredibly sloppy against a visiting South Korean fighter hit YouTube. Even worse, a separate leak showed the exact gruesome moment McGregor broke his toe in training, completely compromising his aura before he even made the walk. But leaking a broke toe, that's one thing. What happens when the greatest striker in history of mixed martial arts gets knocked out cold in training and accidentally admits it on national TV? Before we get to the massive cover-up though, we gotta talk about the GOATs. Jon Jones, George St. Pierre. If you believe the gym rumors, Jon Jones was highly vulnerable before he became the undisputed king. Keith Jardine, a UFC veteran and teammate at Jackson Wink, recently revealed on the Jackson podcast that before Jon Jones fought Rashad Evans at UFC 145, Evans used to absolutely dismantle Jones in the training facility. Jardine stated Rashad used to beat him up in the ring every time that I saw it. Jones himself admitted that he'd been dropped by a spinning back kick in sparring, shrugging it off with, hey, sometimes it happens. And even GSP, the ultimate martial artist, perfectionist, wasn't immune. Rumors have circulated for years that St. Pierre was knocked down heavily in sparring just 2 weeks before a major title fight. But because he was UFC's golden boy, the footage was locked down and the story buried to protect his aura and the pay-per-view buys. Which brings me to the ultimate cover-up. Anderson Spider-Man Silva. Anderson the Spider Silva. In 2015, Silva admitted he was knocked out in training by Khalil Roundtree. Roundtree confirmed it, saying a lot of people get knocked out in training and simply they just don't say it. But Silva, he's an honest guy. His manager panicked and tried to walk it back, claiming it was just a knockdown. But the real scandal hit in October of 22. Just days before a massive boxing match against Jake Paul, Silva gave an interview to MMA Weekly. He looked right in the camera and said his sparring partner had knocked him out twice in his final training session. Absolute chaos erupted. The Arizona Athletic Commission, which requires fighters over the age of 36 to pass strict neurological exams, they immediately launched an investigation. If Silva was actually knocked out, the fight had to be canceled. Millions of dollars were on the line. Within 48 hours, the cover-up machine was in overdrive. Silva's head coach, Luis Carlos Dori, emphatically denied that it ever happened. Silva released a frantic statement through Showtime claiming he simply misspoke because English is his second language and that he only meant he was knocked down. The commissioner, he accepted the excuse and the fight went on. And the truth, it was swept under the rug. So what happens now? Every superstar has a secret gym knockout story, except maybe one. Khabib, according to his AKA teammates, the Eagle has never lost a single round in sparring in his career. The only rumor that has ever leaked was that a kickboxer accidentally kicked Khabib in the face, and Khabib responded by chasing him around the ring enraged. So now you know the truth. The legends bleed in the dark just like everybody else. Khabib, he might be the only clean one. Or maybe Dagestan just buried the tape. Drop your verdict in the comments, because you know I'm reading every single one. And listen, if this video just blew your mind, don't you dare leave quietly. I need you to smash that like button. Anderson Silva, front kick. Hammer that hype button and lock in that subscribe, because the next secret that I'll be exposing is even bigger. And you do not want to hear about it secondhand. Holla at your boy. Peace. I'm out.